Hi, friends. Happy to meet once again here in this show. We have been talking to several of the experts from the industry from various domains. Today, I have a great friend of mine who's Mr. Mohammed Ilias. Welcome, Mr. Ilias, for this show.
Hi, sir. Thank you for inviting me.
Friends, before we go on to the show, I thought I'll first introduce Mr. Ilias to all of you. Mr. Ilias is a founder of BCC Marcom. BCC Marcom is a branding and marketing organization and is a brand and marketing expert. And with about 10 years of time, he's been traveling both national as well as international countries. And he's been doing quite a lot of activities on marketing, branding. When we talk about marketing, it's not just about one set of marketing. What I mean is he always explores holistic marketing, which means he brings in the wisdom of digital marketing as part of his the branding exercise with his clients, and he brings in quite a lot of wisdom with respect to practical applications on marketing and branding to 100 plus large clients which he handles across India as well as outside India as well. And Mr. Ilias has a very special quality. He's all about, he talks about ethical branding, and he also talks about the cost-based marketing. Cost means like cause and effect. The cost-based marketing. He also considers marketing as a kind of a divine, and he has got in his own words, I could say that it's a noble responsibility to serve the clients on branding and marketing, because after all, when the clients entrust their brand and company to experts like Mr. Ilias, obviously has to take quite a lot of responsibilities and ownership. So I really appreciate Ilias on these accounts where you are actually giving your kind of life and soul to your clients. And with that short note, I thought I'll also share a very interesting domain specialization of Mr. Ilias and his organization, which is he specializes on healthcare, finance, and real estate as a core domain expertise for his clients. With that short note, I thought we will go quickly for about 20 to 25 minutes of conversation with Mr. Ilias as to learn something about branding, to learn something about marketing and how to really integrate marketing and branding and digital media as well as part of the business scope in each of our endeavors. So, welcome, Ilias, once again. Shall we get on to our questions now?
Get started, yes.
Okay. So, Ilias, I'm going to ask you certain questions primarily to cater the needs of micro, small, medium enterprises, MSMEs as we call, or startup organizations, or small business owners. The question number one is what is the difference between IT adoption and digital adoption?
Okay. So this is based on my understanding. So IT is generally a term that, this has become an old terminology today. Digital is a new term that we are using. But internally, functionally, it is all just going to be the same. But how I see when it comes to IT or digital is this. There is a digital application or an IT application that you require to run your business more smoothly. And there is an IT or a digital application which is required for you to get the business.
Mhm.
So that is how I classify these two things. And what do we talk about when we really talk about involving IT or digital for getting business? And that's where the digital marketing comes into place. That's where we talk about social medias. That's where we talk about Google, and that's where we talk about a lot of other things. And it is about, when it is about running the business, it's about having a software which can be in a SaaS model, CRM, or whatever, basically to make the operations much more smoother. So what's happening is people often get confused when they hear this term called digital transformation or IT, digital, a lot of things together. If they can very clearly understand that IT or the digital for running the business smoothly, and IT or digital for getting the business smoothly, if that difference is very clearly understood, then we will know where to invest, where we are lacking, and where we need improvement, basically.
Primarily, what happens is when it comes to information technology, gone are the days where we go for a legacy applications, like we go for ERPs, which are typically like a bloatware, which is loaded in the respective client's server, which is located in one physical location of the client. But today, because of the cloud and on demand and SaaS model, I think we don't have to really buy the capital expenditure, the capital intensive
Exactly.
infrastructure in the organization. People go for subscription based model, right? So that way, I think the phenomenal change, the shift that has taken place in the digital adoption as well. Ilias, now we'll move on to the next question. Is about typically for small business owners. Why is that small business owners, micro, small, and medium enterprise owners are not really confident to going in for digital adoption? The moment we say digital, like the social medias and other channels, they are actually not so comfortable. Why is that so?
Okay. So the what I see, like based on my interaction with the entrepreneurs that we have been interacting, and during my training sessions, actually, when I conduct training sessions, it's all the entrepreneurs who have never done any digital marketing, zero digital marketing, but they now feel that they real need to do digital marketing because everyone is there digital. They don't know where to start. They're completely confused. What I see is, basically, like as you said earlier, when it was technology, lot of hardware was there, lot of complexity was there, coding and all that. People still have those notions in their mind, but now technology is much more simpler than what it was earlier.
True.
Earlier it was complex. Even to do was a print in advertising, this thing, we are from the advertising background, so even to just take a printout, it was very difficult earlier days to do a pitch presentation before the client. Now it is very simple, just one print and you get the print. Today there are a lot of things which are made much more easier, and there are a lot of things which were much more difficult earlier. So people who are in their, the mid age and little older than that, they still have the notion that it is difficult. But actually, what I've been seeing is, because of the need that in the market, that they have to now forcefully get themselves acquainted with the digital technology.
Correct.
Okay. Now, when it comes to fear, what is the fear that they have? The one fear is the fear of getting left out. If I
Okay.
am not there, somebody else, my competition is going to get that space. That fear is there with them. So because of that, now they are forcefully coming into the subject. Now the fear of adapting is basically, can I do it? That confidence has not come. And if I can do it, how many things should I learn? There are a lot of things coming in. That is another reason for getting that fear. And now, despite the technology becoming very simple and easy with cloud models and all that, what all subscriptions do I need? Even if you just take the example of OTT platforms, for our homes to watch some of the entertainment, we have a lot of options. We don't know which one to go for. And if you have to subscribe for all, then there's a fear of losing money and in trying to, do over subscription basically. So the idea is basically, even if I subscribe to those platforms which are now available at a lesser cost, being an MSME or a SME, can I really manage the cost on month? That becomes another big story. So the thing is very simple. It is all starting from self-belief that I can do. Those who are thinking they can do, even in their 50s, they are doing it. Corona is a very classic example, I can say, wherein during this period, lot of people in between the age group of 40 to 50, and in fact I can say between 40 to 60, have started their Instagram accounts. Many had a Facebook account, that was different. During this time they started Instagram accounts because Instagram is considered something very trendy, and people in this age group, it is not for them is what they thought. And do you know what happened? They were spending time at home. It was their grandchildren who were sitting with them, or their children sitting and teaching them how to open the account, and then they were all coming in. So
Wonderful.
one is the self-belief that they have to do. Next is the market urge that is making them do. The third is they need the time and space to really understand it in the right way without getting that compulsion. If they have these three things right, they'll get into it. The fear will go out the moment they get in. Because I see a lot of entrepreneurs, the moment they start, the fear is going to end. It's going to be as simple as it is. Yeah. I think I have a
Absolutely.
lot of other things to share. Maybe in the subsequent questions, wherever I can connect, I will talk more on this.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So does it mean, people first have to jump in to the free
Exactly.
accounts, the free
Exactly.
channels which are available like Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, and start learning, while doing. So obviously, the confidence will develop and fear also goes away. That's wonderful
Goes
answer.
away. I just
Um,
want to add one more thing. There. The classic example there is, there is a channel called Village Cook Factory, and there is a old man there, from a very humble background, and he would have never used a computer. I can say that for sure. And he makes millions of dollars,
mhm.
okay, through his YouTube channel, and he does not operate anything. And it happens. He creates content, and that gets circulated.
Oh.
Very simple.
Mhm,
So there
mhm.
are many such examples of people who don't have to know English, to get into digital. There's another thing
Okay.
that I wanted to tell you. Being
Absolutely
regionally
correct.
sound in your own language, I think that's fair enough for you to just get
Absolutely
started.
correct. Language is immaterial on this. Whichever language you are comfortable, you first articulate. After all, content makes everything correct. No, so content is king here.
Exactly. Exactly.
So that's wonderful. So we'll go on to the next question, which is about agencies which are there in the marketplace. Typically like digital agencies and the brand consultants, the marketing experts. There are umpteen people in the marketplace. When I looked up my LinkedIn account, there are so many experts who are talking about how to sell, how to promote. Each day, somebody is coming on Facebook and talking about, I will take you to a place where you have not traveled. But the clients who have been in the industry for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, they're just looking at these young chaps who are coming on social media and talk about marketing and branding, and people are worried whether do I have to bet on these people, and whether they have expertise to really offer some value proposition. So how do you really look at this kind of proliferation of more and more people who are talking on the same subject?
Okay. So to just tell you as to what I do, basically, the same applies to even digital marketing agencies in a way. It's not only for the clients. Okay. So when you see a lot of people talking about digital marketing and things like that in various different perspectives, even digital people who are running digital marketing agencies like us, we are also curious to know basically what they are saying. And to tell you, there are people who are giving out real good advice on certain areas. They're really giving out very good advice on certain areas, and I was attending some of these programs and they were really very good. There are certain other programs which are only for program sake that we can understand the moment you get into it. So what I see is like, since it's all about, the digital platforms are developed, it's all about perspectives that we get from these programs. So whether like, are they confusing people? If such questions come, are they confusing people? Or if there are people not able to decide because of so many things coming in, which way to decide, which way to get themselves
Correct.
directed?
Correct.
If that is the case, then that is market for you. You have
Mm,
not been exposed to such kind of options in this particular market before. Like for example, you go to a car market, so you have multiple different brands. We never asked for all these things came, and now we are able to decide. Like this, you don't have many brands which are digital marketing brands, as a digital marketing agency brands, are not many people are aware of, which they will be aware of very soon. So like how
okay.
we have physical product brands, we will
Mhm,
have this digital agency brands coming up very soon. And
mhm.
I think there will be a lot of clarity in the market as days go by, and as the people start using the services of these people, and then finding out basically what is really happening in the market.
So the early movers advantage is always good. So you need to get adapt to the as early as possible on these
Exactly.
changing trends so that you can really go one step forward against your competition. So that's wonderful. So let me move on to the next question. Is all about your organization. I want to really understand what exactly BCC Marcom does as a brand and marketing organization, and you being the brand and marketing expert. So what kind of services that you offer to the clients? And I was told that you've been handling healthcare, finance, and real estate. So three different focus domains. Would you be able to share some thoughts on that?
Sure. And also, I will also answer a part of your question which you asked me earlier as well, about the confusion, too many things happening and all that, connecting this with that. See, basically, when I started looking at the way how I started my agency, it was all like traditional agency, what we were taught earlier from our previous agencies. That's the way how we started basically. Then later, I felt that there's a need for digital marketing. Then I went myself and got myself upgraded with the right kind of a knowledge from the right kind of people, and then I started learning more intensively, and then practically doing it to learn really the right things basically. So in the market, what works, what does not work, and things like that. 4 years back, actually, my organization is a 9-year-old organization. I'm into this industry for the last 10 years. So 4 years back, we took a call basically. Like, I basically sat down and I thought, and I have to do something about this,
Mhm.
because this model of advertising agency is not going to work. So what should I do to really make myself stand out and the organization stand out? That's where I started learning more about category specialization, the niche specializations basically. So what I did was, instead of trying to call myself as an advertising agency or another advertising agency, it's not going to really create any difference. Then I started understanding the kind of billing that I have been doing. It's very, very simple and a basic way of approaching myself. When I analyzed that, and I had a very good traction from the real estate clients, from the healthcare clients, from the finance clients. Basically, they were actually making up my entire billing, more than 90% of it. Then when I sat down and I thought, I really have understood the category very well, and I was able to formulate certain things which were very unique and which were very relevant to those markets, and all that was coming from my cumulative experience from various different segments. There are
Mhm.
certain formats in FMCG that really work well in real estate but still not adopted yet.
Okay.
There are certain formats in healthcare, like CME as a program that you have, will work fantastically well, and it is the highly underutilized subject in real estate.
The cross industry knowledge.
Exactly.
Mm.
What fits in where? Everything was available before me. Only thing is that I was trying to make these connections. The
Wonderful.
moment I was able to bring these connections and present it to my clients, so you should do this, all these were like new ideas for them, but it was already existing.
Mhm.
Only thing is that we just had to see. Real estate had to see what FMCG is doing. And that's what precisely the top brands today, the big real estate firms are doing. They're doing 100-day sales, which a real estate firm does, sorry, which a FMCG firm does, or anything for that matter. It is just as simple as that. We just need to connect it, and
Mm.
then things happen. So that is one thing. So the moment after I understood all these things, then I started building my own niches,
Mm.
portfolios and profiles specific to that particular industry. So
Mm.
anyone comes asking for my work portfolio in healthcare, I don't have to show them the entire thing, which is not interesting. So I
Okay.
show them only that which is healthcare relevant, so which is only real estate relevant, which is only finance relevant. Then that helps me establish there really well. And then I'm able to show them the kind of results that we are able to produce to our clients. And
Mhm.
from there we take it forward. Another thing in this agency business which is quite lacking is the transparency in pricing.
Mm.
So a lot of people, another question people have is what you charge basically. So the charge is basically based on what the client can pay. That has been the philosophy so far. So we wanted to break it. We want to make things very transparent. We want to go as per what the work happens. So we made a transparent rate card system and we published it in our websites.
Oh.
So we have international rate card, we have a national rate card. So anybody asking us, we just tell them first go and take the look at the proposal, or else it takes 2 days to prepare a proposal for an agency. So we just give
Correct.
it in a minute.
Very true. Very true.
So we just break. So these are certain things that we have tried to break, and we have tried to come up, say ourselves, leave out all those negative things and come out with the positive things and change ourselves to a new avatar of what an agency could look like. And that has been really fruitful to us in the last 4 years.
Absolutely great. In fact, you disrupted your own industry in terms of making
Exactly.
it more transparent. Hence, you always say ethical branding and cost-based marketing. So I'm able to connect
Exactly. Exactly.
multiple dots here. Since you specialize with the healthcare and real estate and finance as a core domain, of course, you help many other industries, but as a core domain, as a specialist, could you please share something on the healthcare, because you travel a lot with the healthcare domain? Would you be able to share your thoughts how you help
Yeah, sure.
doctors and healthcare entrepreneurs?
Okay, fine. See, what I understood is over a period of time that we've been doing a lot of understanding of how the healthcare brand should communicate. I was speaking a lot of national references, international references, and trying to be able to correlate things. And what I found is the way how a healthcare brand can promote and market has to be like very, very different from any other brand that could be there in the market, because there's a lot of responsibility, a lot of sensitivity, there is a lot of emotional subject to it. So at the same time, what I know on the other side is there is a very big demand for people who are looking out for these services,
Correct.
looking out for these services outside India. They
Mhm.
are looking out to come to India to get treated. Medical tourism is a very big industry. And Indians, we being Indians, we have to take that this pride that we have been able to serve people all across the world for so many years. And this particular industry is growing like anything now. And
Mhm.
that is supporting several other industries like your tourism, aviation, and other things basically. And a lot of people are getting treated at a very, very less price, at getting the high quality treatment at a very less price.
True.
So I take pride bringing this side of the story up. And the other side that I see is there are a lot of complicated cases in terms of the healthcare subject is concerned, which needs a subject expertise or a highly professional or a specialized doctor to operate certain things basically. So
Correct.
when a doctor, a cardiologist has crossed certain stages wherein he's able to handle certain niche categories, wherein he's able to do some niche treatments, such a case study actually can give hope to so many people who have lost hope.
Correct.
That's where I see the real scope of healthcare marketing comes into picture. And that's what we have been doing so far. And that's the way how we have to take it further as well.
Meaning like you
So
are
it's basically
creating,
the case study marketing that
yes,
really helps.
you're creating a kind of a visibility for the experts, the domain
Yeah,
experts who are otherwise are only, confined to their own cabins and confined to their own
exactly.
cabins.
Exactly. What I say is, instead of, there is no glory in such a big expert sitting and attending OPs, which we call it as the general patients who are coming for all the normal stuff. He's an expert. He has to get patients who only deserve his kind of a stature. He can
Absolutely.
operate that, and his time is getting wasted. And there are a lot of people who are actually wanting to meet him and they don't know him.
Correct. Correct. I mean, it's a
That
kind of
connectivity
a
was there.
good service to public as well. You are saving lives.
Exactly. Exactly. That's what I say. We have a divine responsibility through marketing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well coined. I mean, with good intention. So we have come to the end of our conversation, very short conversation, though. I thought I will also take a deep dive on each of the domains that you do down the line as we go along in episodes, maybe. So the final question for this day's show is about how do an entrepreneur begin his journey? The branding, marketing, and digital. So where to
Super.
start? How to start? And how to move on? Will you be able to share some
Super.
tips, quick tips?
Yes. I can give you some very, very solid and hard hitting or really implementable stuff here. And you have to give me solid 5 minutes for this. I will go on
Yes,
and I'll give you the clarity here. The
absolutely.
first thing when it comes to branding, marketing, and your digital, first of all, don't get confused and lost. Whatever I'm going to tell you now is the ultimate truth. If you just follow this, this is enough for you. Okay. The first thing that is required for your brand is a logo. Why do you need a logo? A human has a face and we can recognize each other because it is unique. And your company name, if it is just going to be written in a piece of paper with only a normal font, there is no uniqueness. Like how you have a unique face, your brand also needs that uniqueness. Why that is required? Because when you go to digital, people only look at your logo and buy your brand, avail your services, and that's how they know you. They may not even know you, they may know the company only through that. So unless you have this unique identification for yourself, for your company more particularly, and that's where you want to create that uniqueness, because after that only all your marketing is going to pay. Otherwise, when there is no uniqueness, people can't search you, people can't find you online. That is one. Number two, when you talk about marketing communication, what I advise them to do is there are two things that you need to keep it handy. One is your website, and that is everything. That is everything. There is no argument to that. And don't ever think that the free platforms that are provided to you today by Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, all these are going to stay with you forever. These are given to you for some time. You don't own them. You only own one thing, and that is your website, which is in your server, or it is controlled by some server provider, basically. So your website is everything for you. And whatever you need to do is you need to build your audience, you need to build your email list only through your website, and there is nothing else
Okay.
but towards your website. Number three, in the same, the second part of the marketing that you have is, one is website, the second is the short form of your communication, which can be in the form of a brochure or whatever. That becomes so handy in the print versions. Print versions are not required, only software versions are enough, and which can be sent handy with a small profile and the attachment of the brochure via mail or through WhatsApp. These two things are enough for as far as the marketing part is concerned. When it comes to digital, again, don't get confused with so many social media platforms. What I recommend, highly recommend entrepreneurs when it comes to digital is, you just need to concentrate on Google Ads. Google Ads is sufficient enough for you, because there are two things in Google Ads. One is a search ad, another is a display ad. Search ad is an ad where people are searching for your services. Only then your ad is going to appear. And only when they're going to click on it, your money is going to go away. So you don't have to get yourself confused with display ad, which is a image-based advertisement. I spend most of my clients' budgets only on search ads and nothing else. So
Mhm.
if you want to go heavy only on search ads and nothing else. Line ads, that is sufficient
Mhm.
enough for you to get the kind of business that you want, and that will give you the business, because I am getting business for my own organization only through that, and for my clients organizations, we are doing only search ads and going big on only on search ads. So Google search ads. Number two, when it comes to social media marketing, again, don't get confused. If you have a B2C client, you go with Facebook or and Insta. If you have a B2B client, go with LinkedIn. Either you take first Facebook, Insta, or you take LinkedIn. One thing that you need in common is a YouTube channel. That's it. You don't need to do anything heavy on these parts. It has to be very light. And when it comes to what and how much we should do and all that stuff, an entrepreneur, a business, a small SME can start with a minimum budget of 5,000 rupees per month on the Google Ads. And as far as the social media is concerned, what I advise them to do is at least 3 posts in a week is sufficient enough for them, or 2 posts in a week is sufficient enough for them to make it up into a very nice calendar, which looks highly engaging, and at the same time that will get them the kind of business prospects that they want. Only these 3 things, if you follow, you will be completely guided. If you have these 3 things in place, that is sufficient enough for you to get started.
Mhm.
And if you really go deeper into each one of these things, it's an ocean on its own. Maybe the logo and the marketing brochure is will have certain constraints, and you can develop things and you can reach an end point. When it comes to website or the digital marketing that I'm talking to you about, you can spend even 1 crore with Google in a day. So there is no limit to it. I
Absolutely
think that's
brilliant.
what I want to tell you.
Absolutely brilliant. So, as you know that, I am very actively involved in MSME committees of Andhra Chamber of Commerce in 3 states. We always say that, as per the data and record from the government of India, 63 million MSMEs in the country. And in
Oh,
my own understanding, close to about 90% of the organizations do not actively pursue the three important points which you said, like website and YouTube and the important social media exploration as a consistent approach. Probably they would have done it, they
exactly.
would have stopped it also in between. As a consistent
Exactly.
approach, if they can hire, in fact, one of the important nice input which you shared is, I mean, as low as even 5,000 rupees a month can make a world of difference to that business is something very, very interesting to me. And I'm sure people who are watching this, small business owners, MSME entrepreneurs, startup organizations, please look into these valuable input from Mr. Ilias. And I'm sure Mr. Ilias will be of great support to you as well. You can always connect with Mr. Ilias. So we will share the contact details in the description. And thank you, Mr. Ilias. We will have to meet once again for deep dive on each of the specific domains that you offer as a value proposition to your customers. Thank you very much for the valuable time.
Yeah, I would like to just give a thanks note to Mr. Anand, the strategic business advisor. Basically, a lot of inputs, even for my own business, I was able to get it from him, and the way how I could think into my business, much more differently. And at the same time, that has added a lot of value in my perspectives, basically, in the very short duration that we met and a couple of conversations that we have had. And a lot of thought process I was able to get from him, and it has really helped me a lot. And I'm very much feeling privileged that you took time to interview me, and it means a lot. And hope this video helps those who are watching this video. Thank you very much for your time, sir.
So nice of you, Mr. Ilias. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.